are going to continue to talk about author's purpose. We've covered that for 2 days already, so that's going to be a bit of a review. Then we're going to discuss ways that we should prepare to write because we have a PCR to complete. So we're going to brainstorm today. And then after we brainstorm together, you're going to work on a part of the brainstorm on your own in groups. Okay? So we're going to show you the best way to do it, and then you'll do it on your own. Stephanie?
So we have to do the up.
I will tell you exactly what you have to do, my love. Okay? All right. So here is our standard for the day. Who wants to read the objective for me? We have so much up there, it's kind of tiny. Let's see. Go ahead, Taisha.
I can explain it in author's
Particular.
particular point using reasons and evidence.
Uh-huh.
I can use details and evidence from the text to create a brainstorm.
Okay, so let's pull out some important words out of that standard. Look up here. Look how many things that we are supposed to know by the end of the day today. Does this intimidate us at all? No, we know a lot of this already. So let's look up here. Is that author's purpose? Did we learn that already?
Yes.
Right? So who can tell me, what did we learn about author's purpose already? There's an acronym that we use. What's the acronym we use? Anybody remembers? It is, yes, it's PI, right? Remember, guys? What's the acronym that we use? PI. Okay, so what does the first letter stand for? What does the P stand for? Let's raise hands. Persuade. What does persuade even mean? To try to get you to do something. Okay, wonderful. So let's move on. What does the I mean? What does the I mean? Yes. Inform. So if an author is trying to inform, what is he trying to do? Let's raise hands. What is he trying to do? Give you information. Wonderful. And what does the last one stand for? Entertain. What does that mean? What should we look for? Okay, what does that word mean though? If he's writing to entertain us, what does he or she want to do? You know it. Tell me.
It's like to make somebody feel better,
Okay. Good.
make you laugh.
Yes, to make you laugh. Something that you want to enjoy reading, right? So a lot of you, I watch you with your AR books, a lot of you are reading entertainment reading, right? You're reading fiction books that you enjoy, okay? So Bernstein Bears is a good example. I see all of you loving those books. That would be entertainment, okay? So part of our standard says that we have to use that to brainstorm. So today we are going to read Honoring King, right? We already read it yesterday, so we're just going to skim through it. And we're going to use the author's point or the author's purpose to write our PCR. Okay? Does everybody understand what we're doing today? All right, so real quick, what does P stand for, class?
Persuade.
Good. I.
Inform.
E.
Entertain.
Very good. All right, so what are the parts of a paragraph? When we begin to write, what do we start with? Louis? Okay, that's one of them. Definitely. What do we want to put right before our topic? A hook. What does the hook do? What does the hook do? Lets the reader be, she used the big word, inspired to read it, right? So it's like you throw out your hook and you reel it in, right? You reel your reader in, okay? So it's trying to get somebody interested in reading. Then we said topic sentence. What is the topic sentence? What is that?
A sentence at the top of the story.
Okay, so it usually goes first, right? What is it? Okay, all right. You're going to use parts of your prompt.
Tell me what you got to write about.
Very good. The topic sentence tells what you're going to write about. We remember we use our prompts and we turn it around to make the topic, correct? Usually the topic, if you just take away a couple words, you can reword the question to develop the topic. Okay? Then what comes next? After our topic, what comes next? A detail. What's a detail? What's a detail?
Something that comes up the story.
Okay, but how should it be written? How should a detail be written?
It tells what happened in the story.
Okay, it tells something that happened in the story. A detail, should you copy it directly from the text? Good, you should put it in your own words. So usually if you're writing about a story, it usually has a beginning, middle, and end. What's that word we use for beginning, middle, and end? Class? Plot. Thank you, plot. So usually you just follow your plot and use your plot to give you the details, right? So today we're reading nonfiction. It's not as much of a beginning, middle, and end, but most of what we read in here is fiction. So after you write your detail in your own words, what do? I should have more hands than this going up because I know you know what to do. What do you do? Go ahead, tell me. Evidence. What is evidence? What's evidence? I can't hear you. Something that comes from the text. What do we use when we write evidence? What do we use? Go ahead, sister. Evidence starters. So I have a list of them up here, and then there are plenty more you can use, right? This is the part that most of you struggled on for your first test, okay? You wanted to summarize, and you didn't want to give me evidence. I need evidence. It's part of the prompt. So this is what we're going to work on today, because I see that as your area that we need to really improve, okay? So what are we really going to focus on today, class?
Evidence.
Evidence, okay? You cannot just give me a summary. That is not allowed, okay?
Every time you write an evidence, it's like you support the fact for your details.
All right, everybody give Stephanie a 10-finger whoop. Whoop, whoop. Very good, sister. She said every time you write some evidence, it supports the detail. It supports the fact you just said, okay? And it also gives the reason that you're writing. It helps the reader know your reasoning. On the LEAP test, reasoning is a huge part of your score. So why do you think Miss Benoit is getting you to put evidence? To show your reasoning, okay? All right, and then what comes after? How many details and evidence do we need, class?
At least three.
Thank you, at least 3. And then what comes last?
The conclusion.
Good. And should the conclusion be the end?
No.
Should the conclusion say, and that's why I wrote this?
No.
Okay, so the conclusion needs to be a nice structured sentence that completes the entire paragraph in regards to your topic sentence. It should have some of the same words as your topic, right? You want your conclusion to be the last thing that your reader is remembering. You want it to be really good, okay? So, what I want to do today is make sure first that you understand really well what each one is. So in your yellow folder, you have this on a half a sheet of paper. Pull it out quickly. In your yellow folder, you have this written on a half a sheet of paper. So we're going to practice identifying types of the paragraph, parts of the paragraph. It should be right in the front. Put it right in the front for you on the half sheet of paper. Okay? So, when we write, we want it to sound a certain way. So this would be called an exemplar writing. This would be something we would want you to write. This is how we would want you to do it. So I thought, what's a good way to get them to know how to write a good topic? Well, let's show them one. Okay? So we're going to practice with how to write topic sentences all year long. I thought today it would be a good way to get you to do that by seeing what I want you to write, how I want you to do it. All right? So let's read it. Do you know, follow along with me, do you know what segregation means? In Rose's refusal, the author discusses an event that led to the end of segregation and explains why segregation was illegal and wrong. Have you ever sat next to someone on a bus and thought about how it was long ago? Before segregation ended, black people had to give up their seat to a white person. I read that one day, Rosa Parks decided to stand up for what was right. She decided that she would indeed not give up her seat when a white person entered the bus. According to the text, she stayed seated, which was against the law. Because she would not give her seat to the white person, she was arrested. The author states that this one act led way to a greater revolution, a large bus boycott. The author tells us that segregation is illegal and wrong because everyone should be treated equally. In the text, he adds, Rosa helped lead the way to a better life for all. By sharing Rosa's story with his reader, the author explained how she helped to end segregation and why it was wrong. Okay? So, if you wrote me something like this on your test, you would get 10 points. I would be so excited. Okay, so this is what we call exemplar, and this is what we want to try to do. So, let's see if we can pull it apart. If we can find the pieces in this paragraph. Can anybody find for me what the topic sentence is? What's the topic sentence? Let's see. What's the topic sentence behind you? Can you tell me the topic? Yeah. I'm looking at you, my love. What's the topic sentence? Yes. Anybody wants to help her? What's the topic sentence? I have the same hands going up, and I'm not happy about it. Let's go.
Do you know what segregation means in Rose's refusal?
Okay. Is that a topic?
No,
Do you
that's
know
a
what
hook.
segregation means? Do you know what segregation means? What part is that, class?
Hook.
That's the hook. That's making it personal. That's saying, I don't know if I know what segregation means. Maybe I want to read this writing. So what's the topic of this writing? What's the topic? Tell me.
The author discusses an event. Rosa prefers what the author discusses an event that led to the end of segregation. Explains why segregation was illegal.
Fabulous. How many of you agree that is the topic? Cohen, you with me? All right, so indeed that is the topic because number one, it always has the story's name in it, right? Usually it's going to have the story's name in it, so that's a key way to find the topic. So in your bag, I put some highlighters. So everybody pull it out, and we're going to label our topic sentence pink. I'm not going to play with the highlighters, we're just going to use them. Topic sentence gets highlighted pink. Come on, get with me. Thank you to my friends who have it going on. Topic sentence in pink. book and you'll be able to look back at which one is which. You got it, love? Yep, that's the topic. Okay, so again, what's a good way to know what a topic sentence is? What's a good way? There's usually a story title in it. So you see that here. What does that mean you need to do when you write? You need to put the story title and you need to watch for words out of your PCR prompt. Correct? It needs to have the same type of words in it. Okay? Alright, so let's see. We have to find some details. This is the part you guys struggle with. So let's see if we can find what is a detail in this writing. What's a detail? You have one?
Have you ever sat next to someone on the bus and thought about how it was long ago?
Okay, very good. How many of you would have picked that as a detail? Is it evidence?
No.
No. So then it really has to be a detail, right? It's from your own thoughts. It's saying, have you ever sat next to someone on a bus and thought about how it was long ago? And it leads into another sentence. Before segregation ended, black people had to give their seat up to a white person. Now, just because this sentence comes after another one, is that evidence? It still can be your detail. A lot of times we need to say more than one detail to get our point across. Okay? So, do we think that that sentence, before segregation ended, do you believe that that's a detail or evidence?
Detail.
Very good. That is a detail. So we are highlighting our details yellow. And because these are in our own words and they don't pull exact pieces of text, we're going to call them our details. So yellow. We are coloring our details yellow. Okay, and so usually evidence comes after a detail, but let's make sure. I read that one day Rosa Parks decided to stand up for what was right. Is that detail or is that evidence? Okay, it has one of our evidence starters, right? So this is how I want you to write, because this helps me know that you understood the story, to pull out a specific piece of information and insert it where it needs to go. Okay? So that is most definitely evidence, because it's pulling pieces out of the story. Okay? This one is still in your own words a little bit, but it does pull, if you had the story in front of you, it does pull some of those words right out of the text. I don't know, you think it is? I don't know. Is that the next part of the detail? Sophia says, the next sentence, she decided that she would indeed not give up her seat when a white person entered the bus. She said, is that continued evidence?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at how it's structured. Sometimes it's hard to pull these things apart. Let's look at how it's structured. So it's structured where the next statement says, according to the text. She stayed seated, which was against the law. So which one is which?
According to the text.
And what is that one?
That's evidence.
It says according to the text. We use evidence starters to help us distinguish here in the 4th grade what is evidence and what is a detail. If some of it mushes together, is that okay? Sometimes it's okay if some of it mushes together, as long as you answer the question, look up here, answer the question and provide evidence. Okay? So this is an example of a very great structured writing, and this is what we would love to see. Okay? Breaking up your evidence with those evidence starters. Okay,